the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you got a Redneckanize. Good deal. All right. Thanks for everybody listening in. And if you want to be part of the conversation, just call in 516-387-1733 and just push 1, be part of the conversation. We appreciate it. You know, getting back to the headlines, one of the things I wanted to talk about, which was kind of bugged me a little bit, but you know, that's because I live in South Texas and it's one of them things. But so what happened is that a truck driver got busted, and that was in Pearsall, Texas. Now, if you're a truck driver and you ever been down 35 into Laredo, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Pearsall, that's where that big Petro is down there. So what happened is a truck, we're not real sure if he got busted and they opened up the door or he was in the midst of letting everybody out when they finally caught him. But they got video. It's like a bystander took a video, but he opened up his reefer and, you know, illegal aliens, immigrants, whatever you want to call them. They call them migrants in the newscast here. But I mean, they just started pouring out of the truck, just pouring out. And they said that they managed to catch at least 65, which means to me, and that the way I read that is that they didn't catch all of them. But what struck me funny is that the truck driver tried to get away by mingling in with all of the others that came out of the trailer. And of course, if they saw the driver, you knew what he was wearing, you knew what kind of clothes he was, even if you couldn't recognize his face or anything, you kind of picked him out, you know. And of course, he probably wasn't the only one drenched in sweat, is what it was, because several of them, people had to be, they had to call an ambulance out because they were severely dehydrated and covered in sweat. So I was like, yeah, well, you know, whichever person out there is not drenched in sweat, I mean, they might be sweating a little bit, but not as much as everybody else. So that'd be your truck driver right there, because he was sitting in the cab with the AC. But I'll tell you this, from a truck driver's perspective, I'm surprised this doesn't happen as more often than it does. There is so much truck traffic on the border that I bet you it's damn near impossible to catch everybody coming out of the across the border like that, because it's not that the truck goes into Mexico and picks people up and brings them across. They get across. Okay, there's all sorts of places that they cross out there in the middle of nowhere. The deal is that the truckers or whoever will pick them up on this side of the border down there and put them in the trailer. And then what they do is they get through the checkpoints. Now, if you're not familiar with it, and of course this is the other thing too that a lot of people in the United States, they don't really know. I mean, I didn't really know it until I went down to the border for myself. But what they've pretty much done, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Border Patrol, is they have people driving around watching out for people coming across, you know, different spots and all that. And of course patrols can only do so much, and that's what you hear on the news, is that they need to be updated with cameras and drones and that kind of thing. And of course they need air support and all that stuff. But it's still hard, you know. So you got people just coming up in small groups across wherever. So what happens is that the trucks or anybody really, it doesn't really matter, but a truck is often the easiest way to do it. Is what they'll do is they'll gather a bunch of people together and put them in the back of a semi truck, maybe put some freight in it, maybe there's freight already in it, whatever. You lock it up, you seal it up, you have everything looking like you just, you know, picked everything up down where you are, and then you got to go through a checkpoint. Now, most all the main roads have checkpoints. So what it is that you've already made it that far across the border. You still got a good 100 miles before you're through all those checkpoints. And all those checkpoints, when they pretty much stop looking for you, is what it boils down to. Is what you kind of want. Is you want to be able to get to San Antonio, or, you know, further north past that. Corpus Christi is a good one. You know, anywhere up there like that. Pearsall is another one, because they pretty much just stop looking for you. Down south, down toward the border in the valley and Laredo and all that, they've got patrols out monitoring everything, monitoring the city, monitoring the countryside, monitoring the roads and everything. And they got these checkpoints. And what you do is every time you leave Laredo, about maybe 40, 50 miles outside of Laredo, you come to this checkpoint. Every road that leaves Laredo has this checkpoint. And of course, if you're a truck driver, you pull up to the checkpoint and they ask you, U.S. citizen? Yes or no? Here's your paperwork, whatever. I had a person in my truck when I was a trainer. I had a person, she was from Europe, and she had a like German accent. I think she was from like Denmark or something. I can't remember for sure. I apologize. She knows me and I know her. I forgot exactly where she was from. But she come to the country, became a truck driver, and she left the border, and they said, you're a U.S. citizen, and she says, well, not yet. I can't remember what but anyway, she had an accent, and she figured that because she had a foreign accent that they would probably looking for it, but she had her passport. She had her documentation, but they check for that. So they ask, you a U.S. citizen, yes or no, and all that. And then if you're a truck driver, they ask, what are you hauling? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? All that stuff. Sometimes I'm hauling an empty trailer and I tell them it's empty. I've never had them check. I've never had them ask, can we look in the back, or can we see? I've had them ask for the paperwork, and I've given them paperwork. So other than that, I've never had any kind of problems, but they want to know. They want to know all that stuff. So a lot of truck drivers will tell them, and all that. So what happens is that a truck driver could be down south with a truck and then find a bunch of, illegal immigrants, aliens, whatever you want to call them, pile them up into the truck, seal it up, make it look good, get to that checkpoint. Once you clear that checkpoint, you're done. You're good to go. You make it as far as you can, and then you open up the door and let them all out. Well, basically, nobody's looking for them anymore. Nobody's going to stop them. Nobody's going to ask. There's no border patrol. The border patrol is further south. And a lot of times what happens is a lot of these people that get in these trucks, well, you find out sometimes, I don't know if you've heard it in the news, where they find dead people in the back of trucks. And this guy, like in Houston, he took them all the way to Houston. And that was the reason why they died, because he took them all the way to Houston. Now, this guy here, he took them to Pearsall, which is not that far north of the checkpoint. And you see that they're already like, sweating like pigs, because they were in a hot truck. And this was even refrigerated. I'm not even sure if he had the refrigerated unit on or not. Probably not, but they were drenched in sweat and had to call an ambulance up for a lot of them. And the truck driver, of course he's in trouble now. And I'm not sure, there's not many details in the article, but I was just, it is shocking to me that it doesn't happen as often as it does now. I mean, that this here, I think, is a regular thing. I mean, if it was at night, they never would have caught these people, I don't think. But it's on cdllife.com. It says, trucker tried to avoid charges by blending in with 65 plus migrants as they fled his trailer. This article was written on March 25th. And this was on the 22nd of March is when this happened. It says a truck driver tried posing as one of at least 65 illegal immigrants discovered in the back of his tractor trailer in Texas on Monday in an attempt to avoid charges. The human smuggling attempt was discovered on Monday, March 22nd in Pearsall, Texas. According to KENS 5 News, police were contacted after a witness reportedly saw an arm flailing out of the back of the trailer and then witnessed someone stick their head out of the same opening. I'm trying to see. Excuse me. See, I don't even think this is a refrigerated trailer. Look from the picture I see, it's not refrigerated. It's just a van. And see, that just makes it even worse because they were sweating like pigs back there. It says reportedly, and then the head of the same opening. Police quickly responded to the call, but when they stopped the big rig, the illegal immigrants jumped from the trailer and began to flee the scene. Just every time I think of this, I think of all this stuff. I think of when it was it Cheech Marin did that Born in East LA. That was a funny movie. It made fun of all this stuff, but it's something else. Excuse me. It says as they fled, the truck driver attempted to blend in. It says he said attempted to blend in with the fleeing migrants as if he were one of them. but was promptly apprehended along with at least 65 others. Witnesses were able to identify the trucker for officers based on his clothing. So like I said, if it was at night, they probably never got caught, because during the day somebody saw, somebody's head poking out. But again, I'm not real sure. I bet you that the driver just was contacted. Hey, can you move some people for us? Looks like that he had nothing but people in there. It says several of the migrants believed to have escaped police, but the truck driver is currently in federal custody. It is unclear exactly what charges he'll be facing. The smugglers have a complete disregard for human life, said Harry Jimenez, an investigator with the Department of Homeland Security. They don't care about the safety and security and comfort of the individuals as they're transporting. And they don't. I mean, just think about, like I said, they made them all the way to Houston, and a lot of them died. And who knows where those people end up, And like I said, I don't see this. I don't see that. I can see this happening more and more, and people not getting caught. And I just see it happening all the time. I can see people dying, and authorities never finding out. Like you'll never see them. They're gone. And it's just one of those things. This is human nature right here. This is what happens when you create problems in one area. People flee that area for a better life in another area, and they're willing to risk their life to do that. Don't get me started about all that stuff, because I'll just tell you that that's one of those things where life needs to be better for people south of the United States. But I'm not sure that the people that are running things down there are the people that do it, because they've been doing it for a long time. They've been in charge for a long time down there, and nothing's changed. So, and I mean, we're not even talking about before my time. I'm just talking about since I've been alive. It's been the same, exactly the same. Nothing's changed. So if you want to make life better for those people, then I think you just need to start making life better. I mean, when it started getting where life was better in New York and Georgia than it was in Texas and Missouri, what did you do? You started moving things out there and started, expanding. And that's what it is. You're talking about people trying to, make progress. Progress is creating freedom in life and better quality of life, better for more and more people. And if you want to do that, then there's a lot of things you got to change in regards to what the other countries are doing. Because, I mean, people say this country is not that perfect, but then people are killing themselves trying to get here. So think about that. Think about that. You think you got it good? You think you got it bad being born in the United States? Think about those people that weren't and that are killing themselves trying to get here. Just think about that. So things like that. Like I said, it was kind of funny that the driver tried to blend in and all that. But like I said, I'm surprised that this does not get caught more and more. But I know that this happens all the time. That people are being put in trucks and moved, and you'll never catch them all. And this driver, he'll be in custody and he'll get in jail. There'll be another driver right behind him looking for that quick payday, because the market it's needed. People are killing it. Like I said, people are killing themselves, paying all kinds of money trying to get here, and somebody's going to be picking their money. They're out there. It's not the right thing to do, but people in charge aren't doing the right thing anyway. So So what do y'all think? Let me know. And like I said, 516-387-1733. Check us out at redneckanize.com. And we appreciate everybody listening out there. Like I said, give us a comment and go check out our YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Redneckanize, all things trucking and then some.